You're alright there, folks. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you as always. Hope we've all had a good day. Going to finish off these round one games very shortly. Like the video if you would. Get yourself subscribed if you're not. We continue to grow. Get yourself involved. I'd appreciate it if you did. If you want to support the channel too, links in the description and the pinned comments. You don't have to, just if you're feeling generous. Only if you want to. Right, got quite a few games to go through here, so we'll waste little time. First things first though, I was very close today. How'd you explain Sebastian Corda losing that? Hey? What have you got to say for yourself there, Sebastian? That was bordering on disgraceful. I'm just going to say it, that was disgraceful. I thought it was done. It was close enough in the first set, he managed to get past the tiebreak. I thought it was curtains, obviously not. Serious mental collapse from Sebastian Corda there. I did not like what I had to witness. Threw a little bit of a temper tantrum at the end of that second set, immediately broke it in the third, and you just know what happens next, don't you? Yeah, same old story. I mean, I'm going to find it quite difficult to trust Sebastian Corda for the next few months, but that is all I've got to say on the matter. I'm not going to hate, you know me. It is the first round. Don't want to take nothing away from his opponent. Whether it was Sebastian Corda or whether it was fucking Nelly Corda, I imagine Virtanen will be rather pleased with himself, snapping that losing streak. Just for context as well, what I do want to mention is, say what you want, but Artifice battered Otto Virtanen the other week. Yeah, just saying, and we'll leave it at that. But we'll talk about Marseille, you know. Head on over to Marseille. We'll go through them as quick as we can. There's a few that I like. You could probably do a lot with, well, the majority of these games today, but I might parlay a few. I might take a single. It'll be pinned anyway, if there is anything. I imagine I've decided by the time this has come out. But first off, we've got Luca Nardi, Daniel Altmaier. I don't know. I mean, there's, out of all the games we've got today, I'm not going to spend much time on this one. It's split right down the middle. Luca Nardi has beaten him before, I imagine. That was on the clay. Yeah, it was. That was last year in Rome. Straight sets. Luca Nardi has just been beaten in the final in the Koblenz Challenger. Very unlucky there. That went to 3 sets. And he has just been beat by Oleg Prodoko as well in the first round, but you could probably chalk that off to fatigue coming off a final run. He did have to qualify for that tournament too, so it was a very deep run. Daniel Altmaier, we knew Alex de Minaur was going to feast upon him. He did manage to beat Artifice, decent win. He got one against Kovacevic too, which I think we could probably chalk that one off to fatigue too. You know, looking at the head-to-head, I think it's safe to assume if you can beat Daniel Altmaier on the clay, you can probably got a better chance of beating him on the hard court. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm not going to be touching it. I probably would lean toward Luca Nardi just with him having a recent win. And it's not much, but that's all we've got to go off on that one. Oh, fucking hell, this guy again. These guys again, more rather both of them. Alexander Bublik's playing Richard Gasquet here, and he's a very slight favourite. What have we said all season? Forget Richard Gasquet for a moment. You just can't bet on Bublik. Not even at a price like that. They're begging you to take him. It's screaming at you. Just take me. He really should be beating Richard Gasquet, but we are in France, so I'd expect some French fuckery. Richard Gasquet, as we've seen, he's just not quite done yet. He's nearly done. He's almost there. He's just not quite done yet. And like I've said for the past couple of weeks, if there's anyone that you're going to beat on the tour at the moment, it's probably going to be Alexander Bublik. Would not be surprised to see him get beat there. To my surprise, these have never played each other before, which is quite absurd to me. I imagine they would have ran into each other at least once, but no, apparently not. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't trust any of them. And I certainly don't trust Bublik at the moment. No, sir. I just can't do it. We'll touch on this next one. We've got Luca Van Asch, Benjamin Bonzi. Nah, I think I've got a good idea who's going to win this one. I imagine you do too. Luca Van Asch didn't even qualify for this tournament, unfortunately. He got beat today in qualifying, coming in as a lucky loser. I can't remember who Bonzi was supposed to be playing. But it's now Luca Van Asch, and I think he's going to lose. I do. Bonzi's beaten him 3 times before. You can get it at 1.4 currently for Benjamin Bonzi. And is it just me, or is that just a yes, a straight up yes? Because I think it is from me. Played him last year on the Challenger Tour on the indoor hard court. He drilled him 6-4, 6-1. Admittingly, Luca Van Asch did beat him the game before that on the Challenger Tour outdoor hard court. Bonzi bageled him in the set that he won, for those that care. I don't really think there's a lot to talk about on this. Is the Van Asch 1-3 on the year so far. Bonzi 9-4. We've seen quite a lot of them. You know, we caught him at the start of the season. Solid wins. We know that he does the majority of his business on the hard court. But wait until he gets indoors. This is where he shines. This is his bread and butter. Bonzi loves indoor hard court, and especially with it being in France. You know, I know, you know, he's playing a French guy too, so maybe that cancels that factor out. Who knows? I'd be willing to roll a dice and say Bonzi is just going to be too much for Van Asch, who couldn't even qualify for this tournament. Like, I just think he'll be too much. He's only B2, is that Matt Martineau? Yeah, Martineau. And then you're going back to that win against Bassa Ferretti in the next gens. Remember that? Remember we done them? Been beat by, well, obviously Fonseca, Dane Sweeney, Majerachis. Yeah, it's not looking good for Luca Van Asch. And it's a shame too, because he does have a lot of potential. I think Benjamin Bonzi is just going to be too much. He has just been beaten in the second round on a Challenger Tour over in France, but yeah, I don't know. I think he'll have more than enough. I do. He's been beat by, apart from now, we've only seen him been beat by. He got beat by Kekmanovic. Didn't expect that, but Kekmanovic was playing really good at the start of the season in January. And then he got beat by Jiri Lehečka in the Australian Open. That's fine. I think he does him in straight sets. I really do. I might have a sprinkle on that. But at the bare minimum, I think I'll be taking Benjamin Bonzi tomorrow on the parlay if I'm going for one. Yeah, I think I'll have to. Yeah, what the fuck now? I know, it's just French tournaments, 2 French players, you know, it's just a recipe for a fucking disaster in it, but I don't know. I never learn, do I? I just can't help myself. I'll be going with Bonzi. Jan-Lennard Struff is going to beat Manuel Ginar. Simple. Plain and simple. He's already beaten before, 1.17. Massive favourite. The biggest favourite of the day. Well, certainly the biggest favourite over in France. And I think we'll see why come tomorrow. Jan-Lennard Struff will get that one done. Dead easy. Moving on, we've got Zizou Bergs, and I don't know how to pronounce this lad's name, but he's the one who beat Luca Van Asch today in qualifying. I don't think it matters. Zizou Bergs, that game against Facundo Diaz-Acosta, he was tired, weren't he? What am I saying? I'm not going to let that put me off. He was very fucking tired, weren't he? He just got to the final in Auckland, got beat by Monfils, who was playing an absolute blinder, may I add. Qualified for that tournament too, may I also add. And then coming into the Australian Open first round, it just had upset written all over it, didn't it? 5 sets for Facundo Diaz-Acosta. Fucking yeah, what an upset that was. But then he's won his next 2 since, both in the Davis Cup. Anyone watch that game he played with Christian Garin, and like he fucking ran in and clotheslined him? And like, did anyone see that? Was that just me? I couldn't believe that. He's off his head, isn't he? This guy's nuts. I think he's well better than this French lad. I just do. You don't need me to tell you, do you? You really don't. He beat him in the French Open on the clay last year. 6-1, 6-1. There you go. There's your answer. 5 and 6 for his opponents so far on the season. Zizou Berg, very impressive, 9 and 3. I just can't help but think he's going to beat him. Anyone else? Zizou Bergs? I weren't officially nailed on with him, but the more I think about it, I can't help but feel like Zizou Bergs will just batter him tomorrow. 6-1, 6-1 in the French Open last year. Alright, it was on the clay. What do you think he's going to do to him on the hard court? Yeah, I'll be willing to bet Zizou Bergs gets that one done. Oh, fucking hell. These are Zhang and Hallis, is that? Oh my god. Yeah, Zhang's playing Hallis here, and straight off the bat, I'll just tell you this, that I don't know how much I trust Quinton Hallis. Not right now. He's looked well off it, and he's looked, he's really struggled with his fitness, to say the least, so far this year. We've only seen him beat Adam Walton. He's only beat Adam Walton, and then we took him against De Jong, and he didn't even get through the match. Rublev has just been, Zhang has just been beat by Rublev, rather. Now, in his last 10 games, he's only beat, I can't even pronounce his name, it was in the Davis Cup, so I imagine he would have been ranked like a million. Alexa Krivakapich, oh yeah, whatever. His last 10, he's been beat by Karatsev, Dimitrov, Echeverry. This is going back to the middle of October last year in Vienna. Karatsev, Dimitrov, Echeverry, Zverev, Fritz, El Chapo, Rublev. It's not looking good for him. Had a very tight game with Holger Rune, I'll give him that. The only solace that he has in this is that Quinton Hallis is well off it. He's well off the mark at the moment, so I could only look at Zhang getting that one done against a struggling Frenchman. And then wrapping us up in Marseille, we do have Nuno Borges, Stan Wawrinka. I think Nuno Borges beats him, I do. Very close on the odds. Nuno Borges, slight favourite. There is money coming in on the Portuguese. Rightly so. He has just been beaten in the Davis Cup by Valentin Vacheron. Last time out, we've seen him in the Australian Open. He ended up getting beat by Carlos Alcaraz in the third round. No shame in that. He did manage to take a set off him. Looked really good. Looked really good leading up to that. He's looked decent this season, in my opinion. Got some really solid wins. We've seen him beat Mensah. We've seen him beat Alexander Muller. You know, he won that tournament. Beat Jordan Thompson. Excuse me. Stan Wawrinka is still yet to win a game since the end of October last year, and that game coming in the Bratislava Challenger against, yeah, that's right, Max Martira, and then one more before that against Adrian Manarino. Since that, he's been beat by Dino, Laszlo Djere, Lorenzo Sonego, Artur Cazot, and then he did have a very close game against Daniel Medvedev the other day. I'll give him that, over in Rotterdam, but even still, Medvedev was playing like absolute shite, and he still beat him. So, Stan Wawrinka can't help but feel that the end is most definitely near for our Stan. Seen a lot of people saying he's going to win this one. You know what? Like, if I've just said Richard Gasquet's not quite done yet, then I highly doubt Stan Wawrinka's not quite done yet. You know, we all know he does still have a win in him every now and then. It's just when. And at this point in his career, I feel like if you bet against Stan Wawrinka and he ends up winning the game, just chalk that off to bad luck. What are you going to do? I don't think he beats Nuno Borges. I've seen a lot more of him this season. Well, what I have seen this year, I've been a lot more impressed with. 7-4 so far. Stan Wawrinka 0-3. There you go. Nuno Borges should be getting that one done. I might even take him. At 1.7. It feels like they're begging me to. What that'll do is, over in France, and we'll touch on Delray Beach and then Argentina, and we'll wrap this shit up. I want to chill out and watch some of these matches. Who've we got there all today, there tonight? First off in Delray Beach is Artur Rindenech and Gabe Diallo. Now, Gabe Diallo is 1.6. As a favourite, they've never played each other before. I think Gabe Diallo beats him. I really do. Artur Rindenech, as we know, can be a very tricky opponent on his day. So far this year, he has went 1-5. And that one win came against, was it Harold Mayo? Yeah, we bet on him, didn't we? Mm. Not looking good. Been beat by Christopher O'Connell, big foe, Basilashvili, Taylor Fritz. Gabe Diallo, we ain't seen much from him either. More so earlier on in January, he was okay in Hong Kong. Um, he did beat Fabian Madison last week in the Davis Cup. Look, I mean, I'm not going to waste much time on this. I'm certainly not going to waste your time. Artur Rinderknech just evidently cannot win a game at the moment. He can't. Uh, I think this will be a boring game, I really do. It kills me to say it, but just two fucking giants just trying to save it out on the hard court. That's what it's going to be. I'd give the edge to Diallo. He's certainly fitter, fresher, yeah, younger, harder, bigger, better, faster, stronger. I don't know. Maybe all of the above. I think he gets past this version of Rinderknech. I really do. Big emphasis on that. This version of Artur Rinderknech. I'd be surprised if he gets beat. Nishioka, Vukic. Very tough game to predict. Split right down the middle, head to head is 2 apiece, which makes it even more difficult to predict. Vukic did beat him, both of them last time out were on the grass last year. What? I can't be right. Oh, that's, yeah. So it was a qualifying thing. So Nishioka beat him in qualifying, and then he ended up coming through as a lucky loser, and then he beat him in the quarterfinals. Fucking nuts. Threw me for a second. That looked very strange. I don't trust Alexander Vukic. I really don't. Nishioka's looked decent as well so far this season. I think we've just seen him beat Francis Tiafoe. He's beat Big Foe. He's beat Bianach, Jacob Fernley, Billy Harris. They were in the Davis Cup, obviously. He's only been beat so far this season by Casper Ruud the other day in Dallas, Carlos Alcaraz in the Australian Open, Kokkinakis in Adelaide, and Jiri Lehecka in Brisbane. That's not too bad. Alexander Vukic hasn't been too bad either. I don't know, I just feel like I know what I'm going to get from him. Complete contrast in styles. Probably say the surface would suit Vukic a little bit more, providing he can get behind that first serve, but can he? That is the question. I would be willing to side, and I mean only just, but just side with the versatility of Nishioka in a spot like this. I'm not picking it with much conviction. I'm really not. Who else have we got? Oh, there's quite a few, isn't there? Wow, I don't even know. We'll just tell you what. We'll just sweep through the shit dead quick. Kai Nishikori and Mackenzie McDonald. I imagine Kai Nishikori wins that one. 1.6 as a favourite. He's beaten twice before. I imagine he makes it 3. I really do. Same with this one. You've got Boo and Dinky. Odds are pretty much similar. Actually, no, you're getting Boo at 1.7 here. Surely Boo will beat Rinky Hijikata. I say that every time I've said surely Boo wins a game, he's fucking been beat. So could have swore he was going to be Hadi Habib, and he didn't. I could have swore he was going to be Jami Munar, and yet he didn't. So I would not be surprised if he gets beat by Dinky at all, even though he shouldn't. I'd love to take him, but I just can't trust him at the moment. Davidovich Fokina will definitely beat James Duckworth. He should be getting that one done. You can't just pull off an upset against this version of Felix Auger-Aliassime and then end up getting beat by James Duckworth. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe it. It will not happen. Duckworth has beaten him before. That was back in 2019. It means nothing. It's irrelevant. Forget about it. Don't overthink it. I think Guile gets that done. And then Christopher Eubanks is playing Riley Apelka. Head to head is 2-0 to Riley Apelka. You're getting Apelka at 1.6. And I probably didn't expect him to beat Tommy Paul the other day, but quite a quick turnaround for someone that possesses this lad's level of fitness in the current day. Only the 3 days call it. Christopher Eubanks has had pretty much an extra week off, so I feel like coming up against someone like Apelka, that's probably going to work wonders for you. Ability-wise, there's no question in my mind who the better player is in this spot. Like, Riley's been fantastic this season, and he absolutely fantastic. Got some really good wins. Seems to, he's winning all the games we expect him to, and then he's getting to the point where we expect him to lose, and then it's just in it. It makes sense. The only thing that would concern me here would be the turnaround and the fitness. Is he good to go? It is still in the States, so it's not like he's had to fly from here and there, although, I don't know. Dallas to, where the fuck's Delray Beach? I don't even know where that is. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know exactly where Delray Beach is. It sounds nice. It does. It may not be. It may be a shithole. Let me know. Let me know where it is. But everything else, I feel like if everything else is intact, then Riley Apelka should be winning this one. Am I wrong? Last time he played him was 2019, so it was quite some time ago. Don't imagine he's got much better since then. Even though he is still really good, I say that. I can't really say that. We did see him drill Djokovic in straight sets not that long ago. And I feel like if you can do that, providing you're fit and you're good to go, you will most definitely be Christopher Eubanks. So Riley Apelka would be the one that I was going for. I feel like I may be tempted to throw him on my parlay. Why the fuck not? We'll see. And then we'll touch on the clay. This is going to be quick fire. First round over in the clay. It's basically just a bunch of Argentinians and fucking South Americans just playing each other. You don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen with these. I said it yesterday. If these are coming any other time, any other spot on the calendar when we see these players, we go, oh, if it was on the clay, this would be easy if it was on the clay, but it's just a tournament with all of them pitted against each other. I wouldn't be surprised to see either one win this apart from just the one. So I'll probably start off with that dead quick. Nicholas Yarry's going to beat Diego Schwartzman. Surely. 2025. Surely Nicholas Yarry cannot be getting beat by Diego Schwartzman. He is 1.3. Now that's exactly what Sebastian Corda was today, and it's the only thing that's putting me off. But if I know any better, I'd say like you can't be getting beat by Diego Schwartzman in this day and age. He's barely in the top 400 anymore. Barely in the top 400. Nicholas Yarry is in the top 40. We've seen him play some very, very solid games so far this year. And for those that can't remember, let me just remind you, he's only played the 4 matches. His 2 losses were to Jiří Lehečka, Jannik Sinner. I don't even need to talk about that one. Jiří Lehečka, I think apart from Jannik Sinner, arguably one of the better players on the tour at the moment. So there's no shame in that. Diego Schwartzman, man, I mean, hasn't won a game since qualifying for the US Open last year. He's against clay players like challenger play Thiago Tirante and like Galbas. No, just no. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it. Nico Yarry's beat him the last 2 times they've played. One on the clay, one on the hard court. Close games, 2-1 apiece. They were both in 2023. I don't imagine Diego Schwartzman's got any better since then. I really don't. I refuse to believe he's going to win that game. That's pretty much the only one that I'm not going to say I cared about, but it's the only one that I'd probably touch on if I was betting it. Quick fire time. Roman Borichaga versus the lesser Cerundolo, shall we say. Cerundolo is a slight favourite as well. Borichaga has won the one and only meeting. I like him as well. He's decent on the clay. I say he's decent on the clay. They're all good on the clay. If you're from Argentina, it's like you're born on the clay, aren't you, basically? I wouldn't mind taking Borichaga, at least for a set. He's played a lot more. He's played well more games and he's won well more games this season, so food for thought. Sebastian Baez, you've got to take Sebastian Baez in these tournaments, haven't you? You've just got to. You're a fool not to. It's the only time you can take him. He plays like a top 10 player over here on the clay. He really does. Just watch. You'll win this. What is he, 1.4? Yeah, definitely. Head-to-head's 3-2 with Ugo Carabelli. I'd expect Baez to get that one done. And I'd expect Pedro Martinez to beat Demir as well. He's beaten once before. He's also 1.4. You know what, now come to think of it, a lot of value in a lot of these games over on the clay. It's a shame I'm just not ready for it yet. We do have Zverev in the next round though, so it should heat up. I'm interested to see how he performs over here. But look, Darderi versus the good Cerundolo. It's got to be Francisco in that, even though Darderi's beaten before. Yeah. It would only be Francisco Cerundolo. Corentin Moutet, Jamie Munar. Moutet's beat him twice before. You get a Munar at 1.65. What did I say the other day? Look how good Jamie Munar has been on the hard court. I've been waiting for him to transition back to the clay. I have got very, very high expectations and high hopes for Jamie Munar come clay season. If the improvements he's made on the hard court are anything to go off, I'd say he beats Corentin Moutet, although he is very good on the clay too. We'll see. This is most definitely a very tough test for your first game back, transitioning over to the surface. But this, you know what, I would have seen this match last year. I would have went, no, absolutely not interested. A lot can change. A lot can change in 12 months. I'm probably looking forward to that one the most out of the entire day. And then Echeverry's playing Joao Fonseca. Look, if there's any South Americans out there that were waiting for this, I do apologise. Like I said, these are very tough. You know yourself, these could go either way. They're all good. They're all capable of beating each other on the day. You'd probably lean with Joao Fonseca. Younger, fresher, bit more aggressive, you know. He's good to watch. He's fun to watch, man. Echeverry's decent too, though, man. Like, he's good. He's no joke. Like, he will not make it easy for you. If I had to pick a side, it would be Fonseca. 1.7, decent odds. So, you could talk about these games for hours, and it'd mean nothing on the day. So, I think I'm just going to leave it there. If anyone's still watching anyway, I highly doubt it. But, yeah, that's going to do it for me. We'll touch on the clay games, you know, a bit more in depth come the round of 16 when there's not that many, and it's a bit clearer who wants to be there. So yeah, sound. And with that, I'll be saying good night to you folks. Appreciate you stopping by. As always, like and subscribe for me. Cool. Very well then. As of right now, I'm not sure what I'm going for, but I imagine there's something already pinned. I'll let you get back to your life, and enjoy the tennis. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Try and get that cash again today. You know, there's no Sebastian Corda left, so I imagine today might be a little bit easier for me. I'm open for smooth sailing. We'll see. It's never as easy as it seems, but we will try. Right then, let's go get it. Enjoy the tennis. See you tomorrow.